Hello guys, welcome back. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Absolute Resonance Part 21 based on novel. So let's start. When Lu Qing'e appeared on the screen, surrounded on all sides, there were looks of consternation back outside White Spirit Mountain. That's South Wind Academy's Lu Qing'e? First on the leaderboard? She's being targeted? That's Shi Huang and Xiong Liang, Kai Su, Zhong Fu. Who? All the top few in points. South Wind Academy is in trouble now. Shi Huang came well prepared. He must have plotted this earlier. If they can knock Lu Qing'e out, then East Pool Academy will probably overtake South Wind Academy by eliminating their leader. Cheeky lads, ganging up on such a beautiful, wee lass. Well, no such rule. Lu Qing'e was careless, is all. The chatter swelled with excitement. No matter which side you were on, this battle promised to be the most spectacular one in these exams. In the pavilion, Yang Lingqing and Cai Wei were staring at the crystal wall, faces stiff. Lu Qing'e is in trouble, Cai Wei said. They're ganging up on South Wind Academy, Yang Lingqing said shrewdly. They had accurately pinpointed Lu Qing'e's location, then Shi Huang had come personally. He had even invited 3 others who were currently on the top 5 standings. They were giving Lu Qing'e no room to escape. Trouble. Cai Wei scowled. Li Luo was from South Wind Academy, so naturally she was on Lu Qing'e's side. Besides, Lu Qing'e had helped the Sun Creek Villa out before, so of course Cai Wei did not want to see her eliminated. Still, if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. In the main pavilion, the atmosphere had become stifling. It seemed like the air itself had gone still. It was the old dean's turn for a black mood. His body pulsed with a robust resonant power, casting an aura of intimidation around him. Nearby, Governor Xia sat unfazed, a small smile playing across his lips. Governor Xia must have gone to great lengths to plan this, eh? The old dean asked curtly. This plot did not only involve East Pool Academy, but even conspirators from 3 different schools. This was a plot long in the works, and no sudden get-together. Xiong Liang, Kai Su, and Zhong Fu were mere students. The fact that they would choose to work together with Shi Huang meant that their respective schools had given them such direction. And the only one in the Jiangsu province capable of uniting multiple major schools against South Wind Academy was Governor Xia himself. South Wind Academy has held the title of best school for too long, Governor Xia said cheerfully. This is but the will of the masses. Governor Xia, your coming to the Jiangsu province can be likened to a rat dropping in a cauldron of soup, the dean said caustically. A hint of anger flashed in Governor Xia's eyes. He stated simply, my hand was forced by you, dean. Don't worry. This year at the Royal Court evaluation, I will give you a poor review again. At that time, Governor Xia will probably give up the position, the dean said icily. Governor Xia responded with an equally cold smile. Oh, don't worry. If you lose the title of best school, then South Wind Academy's evaluation holds no weight. Electricity sizzled in their mutual glare, a wordless communication of anger and hate that only heightened the tension in the main pavilion. Mentor Ali just sat there, ignoring their altercation. He had seen all too many of such politicking. As long as no rules were broken, he would not step in. He was completely focused on the crystal wall. Inwardly, he thought that the lass Lu Qing'e was in a pitiful position. Within the expanse of broken buildings, Lu Qing'e's cold gaze was fixed on Shi Huang, who was in front of her. You must have gone to great lengths to put this show together, she said, her voice ringing out clear and cool. A gesture of my great respect for you, Qing'e. Shi Huang smirked. She shook her head slightly, knowing that words were useless. Her petite frame surged with icy white resonant power, and her ice silk gloves began to freeze over with flakes. It was almost like a tiger's tongue, a light graze would tear into flesh. These custom ice silk gloves were Lu Qing'e's weapons. The other 3 began to harness their resonant power as well. Each readied their weapons as they stared mercilessly at Lu Qing'e. The tension was palpable. In the next instant, the 3 moved as one, each from their respective direction. 3 beams of light shot forth, caging Lu Qing'e. Lu Qing'e's own ice-resonant power flared out to meet them. She did not back away, but instead took the fight to them. As her power howled around her, the air around them grew thicker, and patches of frost could be seen on the cracked ground beneath them. Bang! The four resonant powers clashed in spectacular fashion. But the ones who were dismayed were the three attackers. They could sense the power behind Lu Qing'e's ice-resonant power, sweeping away their own attacks. It's really a ninth seal's power. A high-grade 7th grade ice resonance. Then the three attacked again. Crimson Fire Palm. Xiong Liang shouted, pushing his fire-resonant power to his palms. A flaming crimson palm print flew towards Lu Qing'e. Poison Ivy Hex. Clasping her hands together, Kaisu sent her venom-green power snaking out along the ground, forming green tendrils that whipped out at Lu Qing'e's feet. Water Whip. Zhong Fu waved his long sleeves and sent a blue whip flying through the air. It was packed with moist power, aimed at Lu Qing'e's head. They had clearly coordinated this beforehand. Their well-choreographed attack targeted Lu Qing'e's vitals. Frost Halo. Lu Qing'e stomped her foot, and an icy blue halo shimmered into existence around her body. It expanded smoothly, freezing all that it touched. The three attacks were nullified. They faltered. Lu Qing'e did not. She charged Xiong Liang, her dainty hands already moving, calling forth more icy wind as she moved, so they would have to fight in the bitter chill. Lu Qing'e's onslaught overwhelmed Xiong Liang in an instant. If not for Zhong Fu and Kai Su coming to his rescue, he would have fallen all too quickly. The chaotic melee in the ruins was hard to keep track of. It was 3-on-1, but everyone could see that Lu Qing'e held the upper hand. Such fighting ability left the spectators in awe. What beauty! What skills! Seeing the situation on the verge of souring, Xiong Liang finally roared to their mastermind, Shahuang, what are you waiting for? Bang! Just as he shouted, a shrill thunderclap echoed across the wreckage. A bolt of lightning streaked towards Lu Qing'e. Her eyes hardened at this new attack, but she was still unhurried. After all, she already knew that Shahuang would join the fray eventually. Her ice-resonant power gathered at her silk gloves, and they seemed to be shrouded in crystals. Her palm darted out to connect with the lightning spear. SSHHH! Ice and lightning clashed and scattered across the field. Lu Qing'e was shaken slightly, while the attacker was sent retreating. This might be the first time in the exams that Lu Qing'e had not had the upper hand in battle. Worry crept up on her youthful features as her eyes tracked the crackling figure. A high-grade 7th grade lightning resonance. Formidable. Qing'e, your high-grade 7th grade ice resonance is equally deserving of respect, Shahuang replied jauntily. Still, you're not getting away today. Lu Qing'e remained quiet for a few beats. Shahuang and her were evenly matched. With his 3 lackeys in the fight, she was indeed at a disadvantage. But if they thought that was all it would take to get Lu Qing'e to come quietly, they were naive. Since you want to play, I'll entertain you till the last, Lu Qing'e said coldly. They felt a chill run down their scalps at those words. All eyes on her. Lu Qing'e stretched out her hands and gently removed her ice silk gloves. With that, her bare hands were now exposed. Their eyes narrowed. Shahuang was suddenly looking serious too. Is she finally going to use that trump card? When Lu Qing'e peeled off her gloves, all eyes were on her hands, perfect unblemished skin in a beautiful alabaster. They must have been shaped by a divine being. Her hands had an otherworldly beauty to them, as if they were carved straight out of mutton-fat jade. 1. When she revealed her hands, the 3 youths present were entranced by their beauty, even Kaisu, who was a girl. Beautiful faces, they had seen plenty. But seeing hands that held such beauty, this was a first for them. It was a pity that Lu Qing'e kept them hidden under silk gloves all the time. There were also icy patterns that could be seen faintly on Lu Qing'e's hands, which were exuding a cold mist. Be careful. That's Lu Qing'e's secret technique, hands of ice jade. She might only be a 9th seal, but that technique could trump some Duke stage resonance arts, Shahuang warned them sharply. The others stiffened up upon hearing this. They looked at Lu Qing'e's beautiful hands with renewed caution. Duke stage resonance arts were on a completely different level than Ten Seal's stage fighters. They themselves were unable to use such high-level resonance arts, and yet Lu Qing'e's ace could be used even before entering the Resonant Master stage. That was a scary prospect indeed. They were starting to understand why Shi Huang had called them together to deal with Lu Qing'e even though he was quite strong himself. This trump card must have been what he was afraid of. Lu Qing'e, the Ice Queen, wasted no words. Without any changes to her frosty expression, she moved toward Shi Huang's position. Deal with Shi Huang first, apparently. Shi Huang had anticipated that. With a flash of lightning, he retreated. The lightning resonance also specialized in speed, much like the wind resonance. Lu Qing'e immediately changed targets, giving up on their leader and turning to Xiong Liang. Xiong Liang panicked. He did not have Shi Huang's speed, and could only call forth his fiery resonant power with a shout. At the same time, his sword burst into flames. He charged Lu Qing'e. Who? The blade sang through the air, but Lu Qing'e did not seem concerned. With a flick of 2 fingers from her left hand, a gust of icy wind blasted out against the attack. Dong! A clear ringing sound like a bell, and Xiong Liang found his blade encased in a thick ice coating that doused his fire resonance instantly. It expanded swiftly, and soon he was encased in ice on the spot. One move, and the 8th seal Xiong Liang was down. Lu Qing'e's hands of ice jade was chillingly strong indeed. Kai Su and Zhong Fu immediately ran for it. But having shown her trump card, how could Lu Qing'e just let them go so easily? She sent 2 well-aimed shots at their legs, creating ice shackles that rooted them. Another flick from 2 fingers, and 2 more ice sculptures were formed a few moments later. In the blink of an eye, these 3 top rankers on the leaderboard had been dealt with by Lu Qing'e. However, after dealing with the 3 of them, the faint icy patterns on her left hand started to dim. Clap, clap! From behind, applause. The brilliant hands of ice jade. Shi Huang praised her gleefully. Lu Qing'e turned to him with a neutral expression. But this time, Shi Huang did not run. Lu Qing'e sent her right fist pressing forward, icy wind howling with it. It seemed like even the air itself was freezing. It slammed straight into Shi Huang's chest. Shockingly, he was not frozen. Across the surface of his skin, lightning crackled. An electric armor. Qing'e, if your hands of ice jade was complete on both hands, you could break my voltaic plating. But with just one hand? Not yet, it seems. Shi Huang smirked. His own trump card, revealed. Against the full brunt of the hands of ice jade, Shi Huang had to be cautious. But now that she only had half her strength left, he had nothing to fear. In other words, he had gathered the other 3 as meat shields against the hands of ice jade. All had gone according to plan. They went at each other with full force, draining away their energy. Finally, Lu Qing'e's heart sank as the patterns on her right hand dimmed. Her hands of ice jade were expended. Bang! Just then, Shi Huang struck with lightning speed. A savage fist boomed out, smashing into Lu Qing'e's abdomen. Her petite frame was sent flying, and she crashed heavily into a pile of jagged rocks. Blood appeared on her lips. Qing'e, what a shame. The final victor is me, Shi Huang said, his smile almost apologetic. He walked over to the helpless Lu Qing'e. Seeing the situation, Lu Qing'e sighed inwardly as well. She looked at the approaching Shi Huang dejectedly. As unhappy as she was, there was nothing more she could do. I'll have your points. Shi Huang reached out a hand, pouring at the crystal medallion on Lu Qing'e's chest. Swish, swish. Just at that instant, dozens of light balls whistled out of nowhere, exploding between Shi Huang and Lu Qing'e. A blinding light. Shi Huang was caught off guard, and his eyes were pierced with pain. Still, he quickly stretched out to snatch at Lu Qing'e. Nothing but air. Panicking now, he forced his throbbing eyes open, and he saw a figure clutching Lu Qing'e and vanishing into the ruins. Shi Huang flew into a rage and rushed forward. He leaped over a broken wall but saw no traces of anybody. All good humor was gone now, replaced by a towering mood. That person had escaped quickly, but still Shi Huang had recognized him. That damn Li Luo! Shi Huang hissed through gritted teeth. He's ruined it. 1. Mutton fat jade is one of 2 types of jade, and is also known as nephrite. The other one is chicken bone jade. In the crumbling ruins. Shi Huang was fuming so hard that vapor was actually rising from his body. There was a demented look in his eyes. He was just on the verge of eliminating Lu Qing'e, his greatest obstacle, and now Li Luo had whisked her away. The feeling of his painstakingly constructed plan going to ruins was enough to make Shi Huang blow his top. How he wished he could tear Li Luo into 1,000 pieces. Shi Huang's eyes swept the ground for traces of Li Luo's trail, but he saw nothing. The pair seemed to have vanished into thin air. He searched for a while, then deemed it fruitless. He took a deep breath, struggling for composure. He returned to the 3 ice sculptures and used his resonant power to thaw them. All 3 were blue in the face as they crawled out of the ice, shivering uncontrollably. It was quite a while later before they finally began to recover. Shi Huang looked at them. Lu Qing'e has been taken away by Li Luo. Our mission is not yet complete. We must move quickly to find them. I injured Lu Qing'e. She will need some time to recover, and her hands of ice jade are temporarily spent. She will not be able to use them for a while. As long as we find her, eliminating her will be easy. The 3 nodded. They had gone to such lengths, so they did not want to come up empty-handed. Just a few of us alone will not be enough, I fear. The terrain is confusing too. I suggest we spread word of Lu Qing'e's grievous wounds. There are also other students in White Spirit ruins. In peak condition, they would not dare to cross her, but with her injured and holding so many points, there will be bolder ones who would attack, Zhong Fu said suddenly. The others immediately approved of this, and even Shi Huang's eyes lit up. Let's go. Give them no time, Shi Huang ordered. Then they scurried away. Outside White Spirit Mountain. When Lu Qing'e was suddenly rescued, a huge cheer went up outside. After all, for those not invested, the winsome Lu Qing'e was a much more appealing side to back. Besides, she was the underdog. However, they also knew that Lu Qing'e had been injured. Even though she had been saved, they had only bought some time. It seems like it was the young lord who saved Lu Qing'e. Cai Wei had a sharp eye, and she seemed to have identified him. Yang Lingqing cocked her head. This Li Luo is an old hand at rescuing damsels in distress. Timing, method, all perfect. What girl could resist? Cai Wei gave a half smile. Could it be that Qing'e will have a new rival? That will be something to watch, Yang Lingqing said with relish. The light-hearted atmosphere here was a stark contrast to the mood back in the main pavilion, although the old dean had also lightened up a little with Lu Qing'e's rescue. Still, he had not spoken, because he too knew that Southwind Academy was in a dire situation. With Lu Qing'e heavily injured, it was too much to ask to take down Shi Huang. Beside him, Governor Shi sipped his tea serenely. He was not overly affected by Lu Qing'e's rescue. He also knew that this development had come just a little too late. She was no longer the biggest problem. As long as Shi Huang found her and took her points, all would be well. At that time, the coveted title of best school in the Jiangsu province would fall to Eastpool Academy. The thought brought a faint twitch of happiness to Governor Shi's lips. Oh, the rescuer was Li Luo? That House Loulan boy was indeed a vexing one. But no matter, as long as he remained in control of the Jiangsu province, there were all too many options for him to create trouble and instigate House Loulan's fall. Somewhere in White Spirit ruins, Li Luo gently laid Lu Qing'e down in a natural tree hollow. He lowered his head to find Lu Qing'e's eyes locked dead on his face. Although I know the impact of my White Knight rescue has devastated you, I hope you can control yourself, said a deadpan Li Luo. Lu Qing'e bit her lip, a willowy brow dipping in reaction to the sharp pain coming from within. She knew her injuries were not trivial. How bad is it? Li Luo asked. She sighed, discouraged. Quite bad. I'll be much weaker in fights from now on. I was too careless. That's bad. Huang and his goons will be hunting us desperately. If he's smart, he'll call the other students. We'll be dug out sooner or later. Li Luo frowned. I'm sorry. Lu Qing'e hung her head. What are you sorry for? Li Luo asked, surprised. I wasn't able to get first place. I let everyone down. South Wind Academy will lose the additional entrance slots, Lu Qing'e said softly. How's that your business? Entrance slots are to be earned individually. Additional slots, your first place, all those are your individual accomplishments. If you can't take them, it's just bad luck for the other South Wind students, Li Luo said indignantly. The Lu Qing'e I know isn't this shy. Were you hit over the head or something? She stared at him huffily. You're the one hit on the head. Li Luo grinned. Oh, I almost forgot. You're injured, and I have a water resonance. I can help you heal. I'm afraid these injuries won't completely heal in so short a time. Lu Qing'e hesitated. Heal what you can, Li Luo said. His water-light resonance was special, and both water and light resonances had rejuvenating properties. Combined, they should be able to work some healing miracles. He reached out to clasp her small, white hand with his own. He had just taken hold of her hand when Lu Qing'e jolted upright. She vehemently pulled her hand back, a usually fair complexion now blushing furiously. She stared at him embarrassedly. Hooligan, what are you doing? Li Luo was startled by her reaction as well. Using my water resonance power to heal you. Lu Qing'e stammered. Well, don't hold my hand. Li Luo shook his head, dumbfounded. My resonant power is faint enough as it is. Through clothing, it will be even weaker. Or you could turn around and I could pull your clothing down a little. Lu Qing'e's pearly whites grated against each other, staring him down furiously like a little mother tiger. Fine. No healing. Too hard to coddle. Let's just wait here for elimination, then. Li Luo was irritated now. This girl was troublesome. Such a fuss over healing. Even he would get angry. Wait. Seeing him rise, Lu Qing'e hurriedly stopped him. She hung her head. I was wrong. Continue, please. Li Luo sniffed, then sat back down. He stretched out a rough hand to take Lu Qing'e's own. Perhaps because of her technique, her small hand was especially cool to the touch, almost like jade itself. It put some naughty thoughts in his head. But Li Luo kept his expression blank, quickly channeling his resonant power. Blue power flooded through his hand, entering Lu Qing'e's body and repairing damage. As his water resonance power flooded through her, she was surprised by its purity. Its regeneration was far more effective than she had anticipated. A slow warmth spread within her, and the pain faded. She glanced up at Li Luo holding her hand and then dipped her head so her long hair covered her face. Her face was red as a tomato, and her body was also quivering. It was a sight not often seen. Lu Qing'e was not actually unwilling to let Li Luo hold her hand. But because she cultivated the hands of ice jade, it made her hands especially sensitive when she was not channeling power through them. That was the reason she wore the ice silk gloves, not allowing others to touch her hands. Li Luo had grabbing her hand roughly and then later made her apologize. The usually proud Lu Qing'e felt humbled. Within White Spirit Ruins, things were a mess. The remaining students had all received messages from Xia Huang's camp that South Wind Academy's Lu Qing'e was badly injured and in hiding. It sparked a wave of greed. Everyone knew that she was first on the leaderboard. If Lady Luck brought them to her, wouldn't they shoot up to first place instantly? Usually, they would be afraid of her strength. But now that she was injured, what was there to fear? And so the greedy students turned bounty hunters started to comb the area for her energetically. Xia Huang was perched on a tall, brick feature, emotionlessly monitoring the changes in White Spirit Ruins. They had been searching for an hour now, but Li Luo and Lu Qing'e seemed to have vanished. No one could find them. I don't know what's going on. It's unsettling, Xia Huang said, cocking an eye at Xiong Liang and the others. Zhong Fu said, there's no need to panic. With such a methodical search, they won't be able to hide much longer. Xia Huang let out a long sigh. He knew that getting nervous was not going to help. But he could not dispel the uneasiness that weighed on his mind. Suddenly, he heard a rustle. Turning, he saw Song Yunfeng walk out from the ruins nearby, someone in hand. "I should be able to help you force Li Luo out," Song Yunfeng said with a small smile. He gestured to the trussed-up figure with him. "This person is called Jiao Qing'e, a good friend of Li Luo in school. He and Yu Lang were following Li Luo before. Li Luo was able to track you down probably because of Yu Lang. What he didn't know was that while he was tracking you, I was tracking him. When you fought with Lu Qing'e, I went in and caught Jiao Qing'e. But Yu Lang got away. Jiao Qing'e was bound hand and foot, and even gagged for good measure. He could only stare furiously at Song Yunfeng. They had actually been aware of Song Yunfeng's presence, but they had dropped their guard against a schoolmate. After all, it did not make sense for them to compete against one another, which would be counterproductive. And yet Song Yunfeng had struck deviously. In that moment of crisis, Jiao Qing'e had thrown himself at Song Yunfeng, buying Yu Lang time to get away, but sacrificing himself. Song Yunfeng ignored his furious gaze. "Although we cannot kill during the exams, we can play with this guy. I'm sure that once Li Luo gets wind of it, he won't be able to resist coming to save his good friend." "Ha ha, Yunfeng, you're a godsend." Xia Huang laughed loudly. He turned to Kaisu. "Put this Jiao Qing'e up in a prominent place. I want to see whether Li Luo will choose his brother or Lu Qing'e." Zhong Fu frowned. "Isn't that a bit excessive?" Xia Huang dismissed it with a wave. "It's all Li Luo's fault for poking his nose in. All of this started because of him," he said indifferently. Kaisu obliged. She lifted a hand, and green vines stretched out to bind Jiao Qing'e. In the tree hollow, Li Luo opened his eyes, looking at Lu Qing'e, still blushing red as a tomato and quivering. He found it peculiar. "You all right?" Her teeth were biting hard against her rosy lips as she shook her head. "Is it done?" she asked in a faint voice. Li Luo nodded and smiled, letting go of her hand. Her entire body relaxed, as though relieved of a heavy burden. The blush slowly receded while Lu Qing'e checked her wounds. She was astonished. "My injuries are more than 80% recovered." It had been just about an hour, and Li Luo had worked a miracle. Were his healing powers so strong? "Li Luo, you're amazing." Lu Qing'e squealed. Li Luo sketched a bashful gesture. "Make use of what time we have, recover some resonant power." Lu Qing'e dipped her head, shutting her beautiful eyes. She started to channel her own energy cultivation art to recover power. When Li Luo stood up and poked his head outside the tree hollow, his expression turned dark as he spotted something. Glancing back at the recovering Lu Qing'e, he used his water resonance power to cloak himself in the water shadow art, then he slipped out of their hiding hole. Li Luo moved swiftly through the wrecked landscape. A few dozen minutes later, he paused in a well-hidden place, watching the scene ahead. High on a weathered tower, Jiao Qing'e hung. Xia Huang and the others were around him, keenly watching their surroundings. "Li Luo, I know you can see us. I'll cut the crap. Give us Lu Qing'e, and I'll free your friend," Xia Huang shouted loudly. Silence all around. "If you don't come out, then your friend's pride will be ground to dust today." Xia Huang sneered. He picked up a stone, crushing it into pieces in his hand. With each flick of his fingers, he sent a piece smashing painfully into Jiao Qing'e. The pain was intense enough to make him break out into a cold sweat. He had been ungagged, but still he gritted his teeth, not making a sound. He knew that they were doing this to lure Li Luo over. "Tough, aren't you?" Xia Huang said with a cool smile. Flick, flick, flick. Now the pieces were charged with lightning resonance, and they thudded into Jiao Qing'e with dull shocking sounds. He writhed and thrashed like a fish on the hook. Shoosh! Just at this moment, a green streak breezed in. "Xia Huang, you ball-less scum. When I get my hands on you, I'm gonna dip you in the latrine." Xia Huang cocked an unconcerned eye at him. That's Yu Lang, Song Yunfeng informed him. Jiao Qing'e, I'm here to save you. Yu Lang shouted. He shot forth like a bullet towards the hanging Jiao Qing'e. Song Yunfeng snorted. He sent a casual backhand into Yu Lang, who did not defend himself, taking the blow. Blood spurted forth from Yu Lang's lips, but he still moved like a leaf cutting through the wind, drawing ever closer to Jiao Qing'e. Shi Huang frowned. He attacked. But suddenly, a burst of green light spewed from Yu Lang's mouth. It landed squarely on Jiao Qing'e's chest, smashing his crystal medallion. Yu Lang suddenly froze. Song Yunfeng was stalking him like a hungry tiger. Calmly, he plucked the crystal medallion from his own chest and then crushed it. Ha ha, I've got no medallion now. I'm out. Come fight me, then. Yu Lang hooted with glee as he danced a little jig, taunting them. Shi Huang, Song Yunfeng, and the others all paused. They had assumed Yu Lang was here to save Jiao Qing'e. But in truth, he had never intended to do so. He was here on a suicide mission to eliminate them both. They could not do anything to eliminate its students. That was against the rules. As the reality of the situation dawned on them, their faces were as sour as if they had swallowed lemons. This video will end here.